penned that letter. You've tried to influence the debate, clearly, but you've also heard from the experts earlier in the programme. Are you not making a no-deal Brexit more likely by the action you took in writing to associations, making compromise within the party harder?
No, I think the compromise within the party was set out by the Prime Minister at the Mansion House speech, and that was something that both sides of the party were willing to accept, and the country was willing to accept. The problem with Chequers is that it means not leaving the European Union, remaining subject to the European Union's rulebook, and therefore de facto to the European Court of Justice. What many people in my position would like to see is a Canada plus free trade deal with the European Union, which would solve most of the issues that have been raised with these notices.
Would it get through Parliament, though?
Well, it would be very likely to, because it would depend what the alternative was. If the alternative was leaving without any deal other than WTO terms, then a free trade deal would be very attractive to many members of Parliament, much more so than Chequers. Chequers probably would have a harder time getting through Parliament than a Canada-style trade deal.
But right now you've got a soft deal, Labour Party, effectively a soft Brexit, and you've got a wing within your own party that would go for that. I mean, I'm just wondering the degree to which you might see it as advantageous to precipitate a no-deal situation.
I think a free trade deal can be achieved, but that leaving on WTO terms is not as absurdly frightening as the Chancellor of the Exchequer thinks it may be.
Well, the CBI today said that people who talk about trading on WTO terms are not living in the real world. That's you, I suppose they're talking about.
The CBI's record is even worse than the Treasury's. The CBI thought we should join the ERM, it thought we should join the Euro, and it didn't want us to vote to leave.
One imagines they're representing their members' views
by their record. And the CBI has very few members. It's got lots of people beyond its strict membership who pay for it. You've got to be careful on how you describe membership of the CBI. But what the Chancellor was saying is from an organisation that predicted on a vote to leave, we faced a collapse in the economy of at least 3.6% and probably 6%, with an increase of unemployment between 500 and 800,000. The Treasury's Brexit panic means that you can no longer trust the Treasury's forecast, which is actually why George Osborne set up the Office of Budget Responsibility in the first place, because he said, as Chancellor, that we need independent forecasters who we can trust.
I want to go back to Sarah Wallace in a moment, but just before I do, it's clear in your letter, and you've said it tonight, that you prefer the Canada-style package to so-called no-deal or WTO
terms.
WTO terms. But if the choice is WTO terms or Chequers?
Oh, WTO terms are much better because we've actually left the European Union and we can flourish in that way. And if you look at what's come out today, you had a discussion in David Grossman's package about importing regulations. Those would be set by the British government, and the British government could deregulate and make things much easier for importers from all around the world, not just from the European Union, and that they haven't looked to in these papers today.
Forgive me, we're nearly out of time. I'm sorry to interrupt. There's just one more question I want to ask before we leave this. There's clearly going to be a political fight when people come back from the recess. A lot of people talking about a possible leadership competition. Aaron Banks says he's joined the Conservative Party, seems to be wanting to bring lots of EU people in with him. Do you welcome that?
I would like to see the party back to having the 2 million members it used to have.
And if one of them is Aaron Banks?
But hold on. I think the party is entitled to be cautious about people joining from other parties. Sometimes it's a great success. I think Chris Grayling, the very distinguished Transport Secretary, was a member of the SDP many years ago, and sometimes that's fine. But the Conservative Party should always, and all parties should be cautious of entryism. It's not beneficial.
Jacob Rees-Mogg.